Okay, good morning, folks. Welcome to Tuesday, the 30th of November. And we are going to have a look at these markets, and particularly the euro has actually had a real turnaround in the overnight session. We're up about 0.78, euro down 0.48, Dixie, and oil continuing with the breakdown that we saw in the middle of yesterday's session. Yeah, let's get over here and look at these charts and really what to expect. Well, I do like what I'm seeing in the euro here. Excess on the lows of last week, as we've been looking at. Taking a bid 130.050s and pushing up. So a little bit of a sort of a pullback here on that level. Came in around 3-4 a.m. and then boom, up we go. 5-6-7 and through the European Open into that 13,650s area of interest, and that is, we kind of blow that up. That is sort of this sort of opening APAC range back on the 16th of November. So still tracking that area there, but actually we'll take that off right now. So really good to see the euro lifting up. I think there is this sort of knot that we've had above here, starting at about one spot 14,400s up to 14,695s. You can see it's a bit of a sort of a ledge, if you like, here. So I do think the euro is headed back for the 14,390s, but really to tell the story of the euro, you have to, as I always do, look at the dollar. And so as we saw that excess on the highs last week in the dollar, a bit of a pullback. We're testing down. Actually, if I just kind of get rid of this euro, see here on the Dixie, the 95.753 here on, and then here on the 60-minute, going offered actually on the S3 at that level. So I think, as I was saying yesterday, pullback in the Dixie to firm up now, support, on this trend. Whereas we've been wholly resistant in this area through September and October, early into November, and now that resistance to act as support. And so if we do give it up on the 95.7353s, we will find that support, in my view, on 94.63s, which was coincidentally the low here of the week of the 9th of March 2020. Also the highs here, double 2-week highs, 21st and the 28th of September 2020, and so on and so forth. Yeah. All right. Easy peasy. So for me, the euros are just up into R4 here. I don't want to buy it up here at all. I do want to buy it maybe on a R2 pullback into sort of last Friday's highs as well, and then get on board with that long. But for me, this trade is on the way right now. Cable again, yeah, taking advantage of that weaker dollar this morning. I think with this Omicron variant, I think people heading into the bonds more so than things like gold or and you're seeing a little bit into euro now. But cable, I think while there is a bit of relief here, I think it's only a matter of time before we really have a major sell-off on the 33.52s, which we are trading above right now. But that short is not on, and I don't really fancy the long. I don't really fancy the long at all on cable. Gold, gold has been tricky, but generally supported here on the 1779 spot threes. You can see that come in, on Friday here on the lows around 4 p.m. And then pull back yesterday into about 1782s, holding the bid. And so I actually do like further upside in gold, because we are seeing, the VIX rising, bonds taking a little bit of a renewed bid here this morning. You can see down here on the T notes. So I think it's pure risk off move here. With the move we're seeing in the bond and in the T notes, and so I think that's going to help gold get on up there. Looking at, well, we don't want to look at the DAX on this session. We do want to look at Nasdaq and get onto these US markets. Here on the daily chart, you can see it's kind of a mixed picture, sort of selling down last week, selling down again yesterday, or sorry, not yesterday, this morning. Just snatching back the bids above 16,376. Um, do I think we're heading higher? I actually do, but not without finding more support here on, for example, the 20 EMA. Yesterday was supported above there, but I just think it's got a bit more figuring out to do before we can kind of go higher than we've seen since last Friday and this morning's APAC high. So not really very easy trading conditions for me. I would say in the Nasdaq, equally in the SPOOs. I just think these markets are a little bit tricky, but I do like the support we're seeing here on the SPOOs 45.90s. For the longs, you're going to need to see that hold really pressuring down into the 50 EMA here. It's not really going to be attractive for the longs at all. As I was showing you yesterday, that measured move. Well, this was actually live in the room. The measured move here from the pullback that we saw through September, and taking that measure and then plotting it off the current all-time highs, that kind of puts us in and around this 4,500 level, a bit below actually. But I think we can easily trade 4,500 to pick up more buyers. It's really a moving situation at the moment with Omnicom. So this new variant, a lot of people saying it's not that strong a dose, if you like, of infection, and that it's milder than all the other variants. However, is that going to be a word that the governments are going to take into the bank and just say, well, we're not going to lock down again? I don't think so. And we're certainly seeing travel not enjoying the freedoms that it has been over the last couple of months. If anything, travel conditions are tightening now. So I think that's enough to pull these markets down a bit to 4,500, especially on the SPOOs. So, tricky conditions. I don't like trading equities in this space. Yesterday on the Dow, for example, we just pull this up here, was looking at, on this sell down in the Dow. This is a very complex chart here. Actually, we need to probably take a few of these moving averages off. If we do this, take these off now, we'll probably leave 50 on, which is above there, and you can see really here yesterday from the APAC range, bid up. Then I was saying yesterday you could see a pullback, a little bit of excess on the low, and then I'd be interested in a long. I came down here. I took 3 attempts on the longs here, and as you can see, that didn't really work out that well. Given that we just crushed a little bit too much down below that APAC low before then trading back up in the range, and so just left it alone for the rest of the day and spent my time on nat gas. And so now you're seeing this big selling coming in about 5 a.m. Down she goes. I think this is indicative of seeing a little bit of further downside continuation. If we move out onto the daily chart here for the Dow, you can see that pullback is on here big time. Measured move as well. You can see a bit of this. Measure that move it out to here, and that plots us pretty much at this 34,377 level. So I think we can easily offer down into this, and then you're going to start to see buyers coming in anywhere between there and the 200 EMA currently sitting 33,765s. It's just, where is that market going to take the turn from? I think a breach on the 34,377s is going to be quite meaningful and probably a decent short opportunity here, which will be quick and fast. So you want to be actively managing that if you're on the short, because I just don't know if it's going to break down and then keep breaking down. for the rest of the session. So let's see. Typically what we have seen is these markets offer, if they offer down in the European session, they tend to get, find those buyers then when it comes into the US session. So do be careful on the shorts here today. Oil, really had a little bit of fun on oil yesterday, but largely I am looking for this 65 spot 63s to trade. Currently confluent with the 50 EMA 6580s. And then I think we should see some buying coming in when we break down below there. But I have also been talking about 60 buck handle with the elite team. I'm interested in what this market has to offer me on the longs. When we get to 60, I'm most probably going to be looking for some long trades when we get to 60. I'm perfectly willing to get stopped out if that thing wants to break down. Well, I've got other suitable areas to get involved, but that's going to be 52.23s, and then I'm starting to think, well, maybe I should just be looking for the shorts. But however, if you are looking for the shorts, that's a very difficult campaign, given that we do have this 65 63s level just below right now, which is of course the high of the week of the 8th of March this year. And I just think, if you're short down into that, you're going to see buyers come in off of that. You're probably then going to be, in a compromised situation if you're not getting involved right now at market. So, breaking down, we're down 3.2% on oil as I speak. So yeah, no real trade recommendations there. Otherwise, I'm actually happily planning to sit in my hands for a lot of today. I don't think there's much interesting stuff happening on the data slate, and even at that, we have pending home sales coming out later today, I think it is. And even at that, I think the market is just trying to price in the risk of this new variant rather than sort of pitter patter data. So yeah, all right, that's it from me for today's session. Please do go and check us out on YouTube. Please do click and subscribe. And thanks to the guys in New Squak for partnering up with me here on Duncan Capital's feed. All right, have a good session, and I'll see you tomorrow morning. Cheers.